came from the pistol as well. But then they started to string together rounds on their defensive side. They picked up 6 in a row and found 7 in total, but by that time it was just too late because their attacking half wasn't strong enough. If they can gain momentum now, if they can put together a decent defensive half, maybe that will give them the confidence to go into this second half. But really, it's going to be about these fault lines. If we're going to see Breach being used again, like how these fault lines are going to issue presence on one side of the map, and if they can then take advantage of that presence, use that as a little bit of a fake maybe, and perhaps we'll see them get onto bomb sites a little bit more consistently when they are attacking. But first, we're going to focus on how they defend.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, it is do or die here for Sentinel. They must win if they want to stay in this series. We're headed to a TSM Sentinels grand final. Golden Boy and Gaskin, take it away.
Thank you so much, Moses. And the pressure is on for Sentinels, but if there is a team that thrives in this, it is going to be this Sentinels lineup. They have always been doubted. People question their skill. And I think it's safe to say the questioning, the doubt, it stops here. Both TSM and Sentinels, as I said numerous times, have elevated this game in such a short amount of time here. And they're looking to elevate one another in this matchup. Just as I say that, though, Sinatra is able to get a kill there against Wardell. 2 players going to be left alive here as they're dancing around this site. Sinatra and Dapper get to work against the Rosa, leaving Cutler just alone in B main. And it is Sentinels letting them know who's boss here on Ascent at the start.
Yeah, Sentinels needed that pistol round. TSM tried to push through middle, but of course that door being closed on them, and then the shock darts from Sinatra just doing a little bit of damage. And here it comes, baby. Here's the Ares. It's going to be purchased, and it's going to be B site, and it means that TSM have to make a decision here. Do we even try and matrix away from all these bullets and do our best near impression, or do we try and avoid this B site completely, or at least not push through B main? A very important pistol round on the side of Sentinels, and TSM will be a little bit frustrated, I feel, because they weren't able to get those early picks. Sick was just in a great position in Garage to get the first 2, and there we go. Ares goes burr.
They know what's happening, and they expected that to happen too.
Oh my.
Sub Rosa, though, I mean, wow, okay, man, a great shot. Shazam just could not get away, and then Hayes is going to send it right over to mid and grab that gun.
It means now they're going to have so much presence on the map. Look, they're holding every area of the map right now. They've dominated middle. They've been able to get control of A, and they have B Garage too. So I imagine this is probably going to be a B split. They've got to be careful from the players coming from the defender spawn.
Oh, paranoia. That's going to be a fat one. Fortunately, those players have to go back, though.
Oh, Sinatra!
Off screen. Oh, my word. He gets 3. And then they now have the confidence to push that there. Wardell just left with a classic and 15 HP. Is not long for this world. And Sentinels, once again, that round started off great for TSM. But Sinatra by steps gets a triple.
This is the thing, you want to try and avoid Sinatra when he's on that site, but they had so much presence and they had the possibility to go for the split. They walked right into the Sentinels trap, the trap that is placed so often. Speaking of, there's going to be tripwires placed on A site by the Cypher, and also a tripwire here just to ensure that there's not going to be any funny business in getting pushed from behind when they do go for mid control. Something that Sentinels were doing on their attacking half was they were just committing to A or committing to B and just leaving mid free. And I think TSM started to realize that, whereas TSM on their attacking half, they're showing a little bit more presence in middle and not allowing necessarily Sentinels to push up. As I say that, well, there we go. There's the peak. Sick was trying to get a little bit frisky, but it didn't work out.
If he got the information and saw that player's gun clearer a second earlier, that kill actually happens for Sick. And then you have TSM kind of cowering as to what they were going to opt to do here. Now with that pick actually gives them a little bit more confidence. Now, also this fight that will be taking place here by Tree is going to be something to note because one player is making his way through that area. Drone. And a pop right through, man. Sub Rosa, brilliant in his approach. Now it's just going to be down to Shazam over here to just wait it out. Getting his teammate, but on the cross, watch out, because the Omen's actually going to be prepared for him. And he's also going to use the run it back. So Sinatra, as he rotates around, will run into Hayes. And Hayes just needs to play this one patiently. He doesn't necessarily need to look away here because Sinatra has this Ares. I don't think he's really going to go over toward mid. Hayes with one. Now this is where things are going to get interesting because the vision's blocked, but Sinatra's just going to go and charge right inside of it. He can spray him down. We'll pick up a gun for that. And that is going to be the round there for Sentinels. TSM will get their first one. But a gun is that's a good upgrade, right? That's a plus for this team.
Yeah, I think if you can just carry one rifle through to the next round, you're going to be a little bit happier with the loss and money elsewhere. They should be able to get somewhat of a buy to contest with TSM, and I think TSM just showing how they can force their way onto sites here. I mean, Sabrosa is going to be a very important figure with those flashes, has to hit those shots, but also needs that support to ensure the trades are there if he does go down. TSM doing a little bit better than they did on their attacking half already yesterday. Like I said, it was 6 rounds in a row when Sentinels did switch to their defensive side. It wasn't until that 7th round that TSM put their first on the board. And I feel like if they had allowed this to go 6 in a row for Sentinels, then that would not have been a good look for them. That would have been morale very much down the drain, and them starting to think, okay, well, maybe Sentinels are here to play. But instead, they've countered very early, put one on the board. And now, again, they're going to be looking to take a little bit of mid-control here. The dark cover comes out from short, just to ensure there's no push, but Zeke is going to try and position himself. And I don't think the Aldro... No, okay, did see him. Never mind. He's not necessarily going to be in as advantageous position as I thought.
Going to be stuck in this corner. He doesn't want to make noise, so does get onto the grass and will bail. Teammate will deal with that recon dart. Now Sick can actually get back here.
Yeah, maybe that drone didn't see him.
Enough time has passed. Yeah, well, even if, though, right? Like, the dark cover would have been enough for him to go back into safety. So he's just going to hold the angle regardless. I still think they go in there and check it. Yeah, they do. And Hayes, a headshot clean. Well, not the cleanest, I should say. He does take some damage now. Zoms and Sinatra are going to be working in tandem to own the A site, but they did get some intel as to where these players are going to be located, and that means that the confidence is there for them to charge into the B site. But don't be too confident, though, because Shazam gets 2 in mid. He was waiting that one out. 36 seconds remaining. Here's some time for them to make some moves, but they got to get that spike, which they do manage to obtain. 2v3. But that moment that they could move over to B comfortably was stopped by Shazam just because he was going to be living inside of mid and no one was wiser to it.
Just so much confidence from Shazam as well to be able to push out at the right time. And now TSM are going to be forced to go towards this A site, and Zoms is there. He's waiting. Drone, will he even get the plant? Just go for the extra 300, and then I imagine the peak's going to be there, but also you've got the shock darts that are there and available from Sinatra as well. He was waiting. He was saving that shock dart just in case things got a little bit hairy. But TSM not able to transition from A to B as successfully as they may thought. And that's all down to Shazam, just pushing into mid. And I think that's the difference that we're seeing, because obviously we used to seeing Shazam on the jet and playing this op role, right? But when you've got him on a breach and you give him a flashing ability, he is going to be more confident. He is going to be happy to take these fights down middle. And, well, I mean, they were not expecting him there. That is a big play pushing through the Omen smoke.
And he loves playing breach here. He's been doing it for so long. It's a foregone conclusion that Shazam will play breach on Ascent. He gets a lot of value out of it, and they've always built nicely from that. A big paranoia too is actually going to give them some pause. There goes the Hunter's Fury, tags up a few players there, and he's going to have that guy basically lined up. Poor Cutler, he just had nowhere to go, no options present. They do focus on the task of getting that orb here, which will activate the Blade Storm. Now the rival Hunter's Fury is actually going to be used by Drone and does now land onto it. And he gets 2. Oh boy, so Zoms died from the Blade Storm, but did some damage with that too. Wardell needs to be careful, but oh my goodness, turns around, heard the footsteps from Sick. Fortunately for him, he's going to be the last player left alive, and that means that him and Shazam, or Dapper and Shazam, can actually work together there to execute. So they managed to do so, but just a great use of ults. A lot of investment there, though, for TSM, and they don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, both teams knowing, again, that it's an important round in terms of when it comes to economy, so they're more than happy to invest in Ultimate or 2, and both players on the Sova knowing where to position that Hunter's Fury, and just the sheer control you get of A by firing it that willingly. Sinatra knows all the positions where people are going to be defaulting when it comes towards that A side. So now it's going to be back to middle for TSM. The dark covers are exchanged yet again just to make it a little bit more difficult to push out, but there is going to be no middle presence just yet. It's going to be a deeper position for Shazam on Fountain. And actually an aggressive stance from Sick, but at least there was the trade.
The teleport up, he heard that though, but the paranoia actually, and then Dapper is there for the rescue. Helps him out as FaZe trying to get a little ambitious. Some shock darts are being exchanged in the corner. Sinatra lands it in that, and just in the cubby, right? Just placing it where he wants. And Sentinels are going to let him know for right now who's boss, but this defensive side for Sen has been brilliantly executed round after round.
Yeah, I think Sentinels there just making sure that there was no funny business. As soon as they recognized where TSM were pushing, they wanted to get that round over with. They didn't want to allow kills to be picked up, get scrappy, suddenly ultimates are available, and then you never know what can happen when certain ults are there. Like, things can get a little bit weird. So instead, they just ensure that they cut it instantly, get the win, get up to 5-1. But now TSM are going to have money yet again. It's going to be more mid-presence, but now Sentinels are not showing themselves. Instead, they're just holding crosses here and they're avoiding the paranoias, but they might know the Sub Rose is here, but suddenly the ult comes out.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder is used, and then the Neural Theft as well, just for the information. Rez instantly used to bring Shazam back. That is going to slow down this aggression in mid completely. And they are back to the drawing board again.
Just 4 of them, too. Sub Rose has actually been able to get up here, but look at the paranoia. Zoms just saving it at the right time. At least Wardell was there for the trade.
Out though for this. Oh no! Oh. Okay, well, Sick was a little paranoid there for a moment because Wardell just flew right over him. Only player there left alive is going to be Cutler with 46 HP. He's going to do the best he can to get some kills and make it just a tad expensive, but with the way that their economy is right now, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, was it you earlier when we were speaking and we watched this game back yesterday and you said if Sentinels had defended first, they probably would have had a better chance of winning? Well, this is going to be the perfect example as to whether that is true. Can they make a really big run here on their defensive side? I'm talking 9 rounds, potentially even 10 rounds, do what TSM did to them. And then all they would need is that pistol. And the pistols, when it comes to 2 teams this closely contested, are just so huge. As again, dark covers exchanged in middle. The traps and the cameras are there. And it's just watching B main for the side, but both of them really, but Shazam taking down Wardell. And this is a back and forth scrap that I will never get tired of seeing.
Sick, a headshot for Drone there. Might actually get this second here against Cutler. He tries to dance around that wall, but we'll have to just bail out of that. 2 players down for TSM here. The slow just to play the stall game, and then Sinatra's positioning as far back as you could imagine on defender side. You will never really think that that would actually be a place that a person would be. That's the reason why he was poking that one, checking around, but that off angle worked out. In this pistol round right now, the objective is just try and get 1 or 2 kills. FaZe was up on that arch for super long. Like, he was there forever. And eventually, I mean, that is just going to be a clean round win for Sentinels. Again, 4 in a row that they've managed, or excuse me, 5 in a row, apologies, that they put together here. I wanted to go back to what you said earlier about this statement when we had our conversation about this game. Like, every time that Sentinels have played this map, they've always attacked first. So they got really, really good at playing a map that people just are not that comfortable with. When the map first came out, I think people were still trying to figure it out. And Gaskin, now that they're on the defensive side, it's kind of like business as usual for them.
I think there might be a reason as to why we're seeing teams win the opposition map pick. And it's because the team who doesn't pick the map are defending first. And we've got 2 very good teams at defending that know each other in and out. They know the tendencies. They've seen the patterns. And they are predicting where these pushes are going to be. They've got all of the counter paranoias. The smokes are making things difficult. Running back does come out. But Sabrosa cannot do anything with it because Shazam connects to the off.
Sinatra knows every place for damage on the Hunter's Fury. I think he did tag, but either way, it forces those players back. Now they're going to be paying attention more to this B site. And I also like the fact that the Cypher is just inside of camera the whole time. And it's this angle that he doesn't quite see what's inside of main, but he still will be able to get a response quicker than normal, which is going to allow Sick to get that kill. Now Sinatra can actually just play back here in case they did try to push up. Shock darts would hold him off. But B is going to look like it is an option. Only one player, though, still going to be there. And then Sinatra. Vision is going to get broken up. No one has actually gone for the commit quite yet. And they're just going to double back from this one.
Especially when you've got the ultimate.
That's so good. But now they're going to have to fly over there. And this is going to be huge for FaZe. A big kill. They got to get there in time. They should be okay to do it. And now they'll get A site. A great play there for TSM. They won't get an opportunity to play. Well, they get an opportunity to place the spike, but they won't win by the plant. They'll win by kills. And just a brilliant read from that Dan.
Yeah, they've done enough to get onto like the outskirts of the site, but they know that they didn't need to commit their resources to try and break onto the site and get the plant. We saw yesterday how successfully Wardell was able to hold Boathouse on his own. And I don't feel like TSM wanted to play into that same strategy and get caught out by just one player defending the site. So instead, they rotate, they had the ultimate, and you've got to make use of that ultimate with Omen when it's possible. It's one of the hardest ultimates, I think, to get value out of, but that was some real value there, teleporting to the other side, as now TSM are going to head towards A, just whilst they've got the Cypher, Cutler waiting and watching B. The Owl Drone will go in first to A, and it will go over the wall. They'll break down the wall as well. And actually, with that drone, they'll get a lot of information. They know that this site is relatively clear.
The two players are going to be inside of this here. Sick with the slow will give his teammates enough time if they decide to make some moves. He also hears that orb pickup too. They're bailing from this one, and I think they're just happy that they haven't really moved. Also, Sinatra's still going to be inside of the mid. We didn't note it before, but does have an Odin. About to be expected for Sinatra.
And TSM just...
this is not an angle that he would normally hold with this too, Gaskin.
Yeah, he's just trying to be predictable. Unpredictable, sorry, should I say. He doesn't want to be predictable on the side of TSM. Wants to catch them off guard, and of course that wall is very bangable as well. With TSM getting the early pick in mid, that's why they rotated. Sinatra does do a little bit of damage from behind, but it's only going to be them losing one.
Doms has a lot to do here, but I think he's going to be very satisfied with the fact that he managed to pick up a kill. Now that spike will be down. Here comes the retake for Sentinels. He does have recon. Dapper also has a cyber cage too, which when he does want to push that, can actually activate it and go for it. Sabrosa playing the angles. Here comes the recon now. But oh boy, the dark cover actually disappears at the worst possible time. And then Wardell's going to see that, and he's going to benefit from it greatly. 2 kills for them now give TSM 2 attacking wins in a row.
Yeah, and you can see the success that TSM have when they're actually able to get the spike down, right? Their post-plant positions are excellent, especially when Wardell can get off-site and get vision like that. TSM now starting to roll a little bit and doing a bit of damage to the economy. If they can get 5 here, I think they'd be very happy. We were only able to see 3-round victories from them yesterday, but that was only because that's all they needed to actually win the game after their very, very strong defensive half. It's going to be the final buy for Sentinels, really. Look at that money. If they don't win this one, they're going to be on a very weak buy for the last. So 7-5 on the cards if TSM were to pick this one up. They've got mid control again, utilizing Sova Drone to gain vision so that you get the safe push into middle. And of course, dark cover to cover from short. It's just denied any sort of opping a capability from short, really.
I really like the teleport he takes over to the arch. Because mid is typically going to be open. Even though in that last round, Sinatra was going to be there, they were able to just look around clear, give him some comfort in knowing that he'll be okay. Now they're going to get some work done over on the Gelato side by A main. The star cover will be disappearing here in a moment's time. The tension is so high, but Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Well timed there alongside with the curveball too. Drone manages to get the kill against Doms, but on the outskirts, it's Shazam waiting for the cross by Tree. So now that's just going to stop this push, but Spike will go down. Drone managed to get inside of the site. Here comes the Rolling Thunder now, forcing players to actually dip back. He's actually still gonna, yeah, I was gonna say not drone, but Sub Rosa was still gonna be inside of this, so they had to handle him quickly, which they managed to accomplish. Now, 2 players still gonna be left alive. Shazam's gonna win that duel. Only 1 left. Shazam got 4. And now, I think that you had highlighted it perfectly, Gaskin. This was vital. Look at that economy. It was ripped to shreds after multiple rounds of winning, but it shows you how just you think you're doing well financially, and then things just start to get a little crazy. Now they will breathe a sigh of relief for this final round, but I loved that execute on a site with the Hunter's Fury and the curveball. I think that was just well done, and Shazam also received them well.
Yeah, the Hunter Fury just going for those predictable positions, those natural holes where everyone is going to be sitting and getting some decent tags doing damage. Unfortunately for them, Shazam was waiting in prime position with his op as well. I mean, he was really the man of the moment there. Last round of the half for TSM on their attacking half, and it's going to be a very aggressive push towards A main. Again, a lot committed down here towards A long, and they get the opening pick. And that's good news. That means they are closer to getting this 4th round.
But you know, I am a bit at a loss there, and as I say that, a great shot there for Shazam. Finally, though, Hayes helps him out, and we'll send him packing for a moment here. That Sick actually went for that, like pretty dry, right down, long.
That's what Sick does, though, right? Like, he's just an aggressive C. Like, he is that kind of player. We've seen it time and time again, and maybe that's something that the opposition team tries to take advantage of is his single aggression.
Big kill there for Sub Rosa will allow them to get some coverage inside of the A site. Sinatra will need to back away. 8-4 for TSM wouldn't be the end of the world. Here comes some filthy lineups, and he backs away right. He knew that that was going to be coming too. He's like, no, I don't want to deal with that. Wardell jumps up on top of scaffolding, punishes Sinatra, who tried to get and reposition to wait for his teammate, Dapper, but Dapper now just going to be left alone. This is looking pretty much like a foregone conclusion here that TSM will get a 4th attack round right before we switch sides.
1 down.
Let me not speak too fast now. There's still going to be some players left alive, and actually that player was going to be rather weak now. Dapper's looking to make this one into a moment here, but Cutler did not want to give Dapper that shine. He's going to take it for himself. 8-4 as we go into the half.
Just a little bit too much for Dapper to do there. But 8-4, so, I mean, if we look at that game yesterday, and when Sentinels were attacking, they were only able to get 2 rounds, right? 2 of those were from the pistol round. So if they're able to pick up the pistol here, that goes to 10-4. And then TSM, it's a little bit harder when you are defending second because you're going to be under a little bit more pressure to reset that economy and break the bank of your opposition. But this is definitely doable for TSM. Like, they're going to be looking at this and saying, all right, 4 rounds. Well, we weren't able to see anything from Sentinels yesterday on their attacking half, but we know that TSM did their research, they found out those tendencies from Sentinels, and they completely blocked them out. We even heard it in the interview from Sentinels. Like, they have gone back, they weren't able to react to it quick enough, but they have been able to now study it overnight, and I think that's scary. Like, Sentinels are one of the best teams at changing things when they need to change them. Okay, they weren't able to do it mid-game, but I'm sure they can do it between games.
Perhaps that's exactly what we're going to get here. Cutler waits this one out. Camera has been destroyed, and now that will give Dapper gets some intel that that player was going to be by the button, because also the button was pressed. And a wall up high, too, puts some pressure down and forces them to actually have to go inside of sight. But just the angle here that Sub Rosa gets, he gets 2 with that shot with the Ghost. Oh, man. This round now actually changes up big time. Wardell, also not to be outdone, will secure himself 2 kills. And TSM managed to hold true on the defense.
And that means this is going to be a game. And you already saw the bagging coming back now from TSM. It was a strong push. I like the idea from Sentinels, and of course the wall to get vision through the window, but Sub Rosa wise to it, not showing himself, not being too vulnerable. And then the Molotov, the hot
yeah.
hands was enough to keep them back, and then just the angle he took. Like, if you can hit those shots with a ghost, you're always going to be in a good spot, right?
And the wall's been happening more and more on the orb box, but it seems like even though we've been seeing it more often, it still is something that players don't normally expect here. What I definitely didn't expect was this level of aggression that was going to be coming in from B. They managed to take full control. Sentinels and Sinatra's just going to go right forward inside of the dark cover. A fight in the Thunderdome is not going to go in his favor. Spike is down, though, so that will be the shining light here for Sentinels. TSM barging through the door like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh,
Shazam.
on the back front.
Yeah, that was going to be a kill on main, which is impressive that he was able to do so. And then the flash is going to just impede any kind of a push that's going to happen. This round has, at the very least, you got to commend them for what they managed to accomplish by getting on the side and trying to bully them away from this. Only player left alive is going to be Shazam here, and he's going to go for this. He's going to go for this in Cutler. He tried to stick it, but he does the damage, and beautiful shot from Cutler. It's going to be enough.
Oh, it was just enough. The fact that he jumped just to try and gain that vision just allowed Cutler to have the advantage and just to get a nice little dink. That was definitely winnable. Definitely winnable.
What a round. I'm just like, I'm in awe. This shot right here, Cutler, my dude, my word.
I mean, Shazam's going to be kicking himself there. I feel like he knows he could have won that round, but it's just one of those where Cutler has positioned himself perfectly. He's held it to at least get to halfway, and then the confidence to take himself off and hit that shot. And those are going to be the rounds that are really going to make the difference when it comes to the end of this game, I feel. As it's going to be a bit more mid-presence for Sentinels. We didn't see this so much yesterday. It was more of a commitment towards A or B, but instead they just send themselves through dark cover and have zero respect for anyone who's going to be on the other side of it.
An unfortunate turn of events there. But Wardell does try to bring this one back into a winnable state now. He will be backing away, leaving Sick inside of mid with Spike alone. And we'll be going back now. Let's start to see what work can be done potentially here at a long. As Sinatra and Zoms are going to be wrapping around. Sick does manage to get back to his teammates. Wardell watching this angle. And if you go at it cold like that, Wardell will get the better of you every single time. I don't know if you know Gaskin, but apparently he does not miss.
Apparently he doesn't miss, and the way he repositions himself consistently throughout the map as well makes it so difficult for Sentinels to even try and consider where they want to be pushing. Because you never know where Wardell is going to be waiting with this op, and there's another peek, and that's going to be a 3K, and it's just easy pickings for him at this point. They're just running into bullets.
Give it to him. Yeah, I mean, I know that Sick doesn't want to give it to him, but hey, if it were to happen, I wouldn't be all that angry, though. Sick is going to be located up high. Wardell now knows exactly where he's going to be. He has to make the play happen here with the blades out, though. Will not get the ace, denied that. And he also had the spike, too. But thankfully, wait a minute. Okay, he delays it enough, and there's no opportunity for him to plant that one out. But I like just the scare, the jump scare, right at that time where he's like in the plant phase, he's in the animation, he's like, what in tarnations? And then he flies into him, butt first.
All he had to do was deny the plant, and he's done his job. But it's Wardell, yet again, he did this yesterday, the way he would be kind of positioning himself on catwalk, and then as soon as the vision was cut off, he'd suddenly go all the way around to that B site, and he was holding B site on his own, but now he's doing the same thing at A site as well. And okay, he didn't get the ace, he even popped the ult to try and get the ace, but it didn't matter. He'd already won the round at that point.
That's the funnier part about it.
Shazam's boosted himself up, but it's not going to work out. We'll just retreat, and it does feel like a little bit of a waste when you've used that wall for the boost and then you don't get anything from it. That's 400 credits you're using to just try and get that early pick, but of course worth it if you do hit it.
Revealing area.
I think if they manage to get on site, they're comfortable with their post plant positioning. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I'm almost certain that they did that a number of times against Envy. The wall on the toll booth, right? Yeah. Or the ticket box or whatever it is.
Look at the camera as well from Sentinels, just popping it all the way towards B main as Rolling Thunder's going to come out and initiate this push.
Drone now. Gonna have a lot of work in front of him here, and he's stunned. So because of that, his shots are not gonna be as receptive as he would like. And this is multiple rounds in a row here that Sentinels have been able to get some wins or I shouldn't say get some wins, but it's just enough that is going to give TSM pause. They're more focused on keeping these weapons rather than trying to go for this retake. Sentinels will get a win on the board, and I think that they would be very, very satisfied with the way that they push that one.
So after 10, that's 10 and 11, 10 rounds without finding a victory on their attacking side yesterday, they've actually been able to finally break through when they have guns, not just relying on that pistol round. And I think that is bad news for TSM. It means that Sentinels have gone to a plan C, a plan D. They've revisited the chalkboard and they've been able to find something a little bit different. And I can see this one going all the way. Like, I can see both of these teams now taking jabs at each other, going back and forth, because Sentinels now have got a good hold of A main. They've been able to take control of it. They've had good vision of B at the same time with that Cypher camera consistently, like very deep Cypher camera that hasn't been spotted. It just means that there's no possibility for TSM to get the flank. And they've had better mid presence today than they did yesterday. They left it open so often yesterday, and TSM took full advantage of that. It's not been the same case.
Looks like we're going to get another pressure play here on A, but I'll actually force him to slow down. Yeah, in the fault line, just plays the delay there. There goes. Run it back now, trying to clear this one out. One player is actually going to be tucked away inside of this box. I don't know he's going to get the intel enough to push that. So they don't have knowledge of that 3 players are going to be located. A job well done just to hide out, not to give them too much. Sick just is one with the box.
Didn't break the tripwire as well. That's what's important. They were able to break that tripwire pretty consistently yesterday with the running back. And this just means that if they do decide to either go for A, they've of course got the tripwire to cover their backs, or if they rotate and go back towards mid or go towards B, the tripwire could just give them that sense of security that they're not going to be pushed from behind.
Another recon dart played, and this battle for A main, this is exactly what we were being treated to last time when these two teams faced off against each other. So I think they've done enough now to actually throw TSM off the scent, and they're going to be rewarded with it for 2 kills. But while that was going to be going on, though, 2 more players are actually going to be hanging out. That wall will come up clutch and block them from coming in from tree room. 3 players still standing, though, for TSM. Give them an opportunity here, potentially, but I think this is back to exactly what happened square one, where they lost it. They'd rather not lose the guns. But I think this time around, the difference is they're going to go hunting. They know where FaZe is currently. And they're getting these kills, too. This actually kind of changes this if they wanted. But no, I don't think that there is just simply going to be enough time. Now that FaZe is dead, they're going to stick around toward B. I think there was that moment where Wardell's like, okay, never mind. We're just going to hold on to this, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you get the kills, you're far too far away from the spike, and they knew that, but there's always going to be that little bit of temptation in your mind regardless. Sentinels put their 10th on the board, and again, it was just presence at A, denying the run it back, information being gathered. It was just a consistent peeking from the AWP to try and take him down. And I feel like they really didn't want that trip to be taken away from them. Just gives you so much more kind of freedom to push onto a site knowing that you're not necessarily going to be flanked without any info. As we go into now the 18th round, and tripwire in the same place, camera probably going to be put in a similar spot.
Okay, we're getting a lineup for this hot hands. Another paranoid. Does not actually connect, though.
There's actually a camera towards middle.
Huh. Interesting here. We'll see how it plays out. The movement is actually starting to happen. Shazam forces his way inside of B main. He's got Sick there to have his back. No one going to be poking quite yet, but Wardell might just, because he sees him, but oh man, he saw his elbow, and then I thought that he either goes for the wall shot or just waits for him to just poke in a little bit more. Does not work out that way. But they do know that Wardell's there. Obviously, Cypher's there too. Sub Rosa. Hold down tree for right now.
You will not kill
There goes a flash, but a flash sent back in turn. Sick gets the res and also swings for the kill. Now this is going to be a great opportunity for them to get this A site. The Neural Theft 2 gives them intel and knowledge for days. Drone, my friend, it will be very difficult for you to do this. Thankfully, Wardell's there to have you out, have your back, and thankfully Wardell gets the shot again. One by generator, backs up. Another one bottom of scaffolding. And also pay attention to where Shazam is. He's anticipating maybe a player that will be creeping around the flank, but it's not going to come here. 3v4 or 4v4. Apologies for that one, but either way, though, it doesn't matter because the numbers are going to be thinning rather quickly for TSM. Only player left alive, it's going to be Wardell, and 11-7 Sentinels. They're creeping closer and closer, Gaskin.
They are indeed, but I mean, we look at the money on the side of TSM and it isn't too great. And look at how they convert this trade as well. They're so quick. They know Sub Rosa's there. They use the res and then it's just an instant push, using the flash, making sure they can get there, almost using the res as bait at the same time. That's one thing that Sentinels were trying to do yesterday. They were trying to convert these trades with utility, but they just weren't having success. TSM were consistently denying that. But there's something different about Sentinels today. They're much quicker about converting these trades.
Drone is going to be trapped, but yeah, that's unfortunate for Drone. He got caught with the slow. They also saw him with the drone. And then, most importantly, they got intel that Wardell was going to be located there with the op as well. So 2 players by A site gives them a lot of knowledge. They know that Cypher's here at B, that Cutler's waiting in the wings for them. But they can actually win this battle out because all he's going to have is a Bulldog. And as he comes through the room, Sick with the confidence, unreal. And now we're going to be at match point here, Gaskin. We could be going to a game 5 in this grand final.
Match point, money pretty bad for TSM. It's going to have to just be a force up, half armor, a couple of scattered rifles to work with. And Sentinels, they're feeling this one. And is anyone going to win their map pick? Or is it going to be consistently the first team to defend seems to find more success? These teams are so evenly matched. It is unreal. The fact we've got to this point now with North American Valorant. We thought Sentinels were the dominant force. TSM have bitten back. But Sentinels, after getting knocked down to the lower bracket yesterday, are fighting back yet again to show they're not just going to be booted out of the competition that comfortably.
If you're going to go out swinging. And I think Sentinels hit a 1-2 punch on TSM that they certainly were not going to be expecting. Yes, you know, you are good at Ascent with what you did, but the defense is going to be the difference here. Now, Drone, though, is going to be mighty weak, and this will hurt him a bit. He also does not have his Hunter's Fury. We'll try and slow them up here for a moment.
So I do love how they used Paranoia to try and force people out of certain positions so that then the Hunter's Fury could tag those players who have moved from certain positions. I mean, the link-ups that we're seeing from both of these teams with the utilities available is great. I mean, they had no desire to push A-site whatsoever there, but they were just seeing whether they could catch someone out with the Hunter's Fury, get an easy pick, and then that's when they'd make their move. But instead, they're all heading to mid.
Oh, Hayes. Spectre. Oh, okay. I was a little worried there, but he was able to dance around just a bit to give them some slowdown. Oh, and Wardell actually through the dark cover sees Zombs, and he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Cutler's trying to get bullied out of this boathouse. Does get a kill for it, though. Another player is located on the right side. Here we go, though. Spike is going to go down. Can TSM keep this one going? A headshot. Now it's going to be left up to Shazam here. 1v2, 1 kill. Is this going to be for the game? As Shazam's dancing around the box, and there you have it. Oh my goodness. We're going to a game 5, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we all